Hello there, can you hear me okay? I'm Paddy Mackle, current chairperson of the Northern Committee of Two. This isn't the first demonstration arising from the events of the last week or so. Unfortunately, it probably won't be the last. But it is important that we do today and advance these things. Along with united in their condemnation of the recent attacks on migrant workers, their families and their local small businesses, which provide a much needed service to the whole community. We congratulate all of those who have literally and metaphorically put their arms around those attacked over the last week or so. It has been a magnificent response from the community and community organisations. That is the best face of Belfast in action. We all stand united in demanding action from the Assembly, the Executive, the UK Government and the police. All workers deserve their support, they deserve protection and they deserve respect. In our society, and we repeat it from this platform today, we welcome all workers, all people, regardless of your skin colour, your religion, your ethnicity, your gender, your country of origin, your political beliefs or sexual orientation. We are all human, deserving equal treatment, and we welcome and we embrace our beautiful diversity in all its forms. Let's be honest though, there are problems, many affecting local working class people. Decades of UK government austerity and cuts to public services, including health provision and housing, cuts to welfare support for families and cuts in education funding, have all helped to play a part in alienating many people in the community. But make no mistake, these calculated political decisions by the Tories that damage ordinary workers and their families are not a reason, they're not a justification for anyone to single out migrant families to blame for those austerity cuts. They are not to blame. And those behind the recent protests and attacks know that bloody rightly. One of the issues consistently used to justify the protests and then the inevitable attacks which follow is the problem associated with housing provision. 8 years ago, when I was a NIPSA official with responsibility for social housing, the figures for those who were on a waiting list was over 40,000. The numbers accepted by the state that's been homeless was over 13,000. That's 8 years ago. The problem in housing is not about anyone jumping the queue. It would be illegal to do so. It actually lies in a refusal by government to properly fund the building of sufficient homes for everyone in the community. For the past 20 years, denied the right to borrow to enable them to build public houses. The excuse trotted out for years was bureaucratic EU finance rules. Following Brexit, that feeble excuse appeared immediately from day one. But the borrowing rules for the Housing Executive did not change and haven't. Housing shortage is here as a consequence of a deliberate policy by the UK Government to refuse borrowing rights to the Housing Executive, forcing everyone in the community to wait longer for a decent home. That's not a migrant issue. It's not a migrant's fault. It's not a Muslim's fault. It's not a Filipino or an Indian nurse's fault. It is solely Westminster's fault, and those organising these protests know that. There are no open borders. It's nonsense. And those behind the protests also know that. Those who abuse and attack women and girls physically and sexually in this society are almost exclusively white males. And those behind the protests know that. As a true movement, we absolutely need to challenge the Assembly to take control of those things that are within their gift. That includes the anti-poverty strategy we're still waiting on. That includes a strategy to deal with violence against women and girls, which we're still waiting on. That includes a Bill of Rights, still outstanding from the Good Belfast Agreement of 1998. We will meet with the Executive Office soon and demand delivery on all of those issues. We have sought meetings with the NIO, Secretary of State and the PSNI. We also intend to challenge the media's decision makers who continue to give a platform to those deliberately spouting lies and justify shameful attacks on our community. It is a disgrace. Earlier this week, I attended a debate as part of Feeling Fubble, the People's Festival in West Belfast. There were 4 speakers, each of them self-identifying as a working class loyalist. Confident, articulate, funny and committed to advocating for and working on behalf of their own community. They perfectly understood the problems facing marginalised people, the same problems facing us all. But equally, they also recognised that those behind organising the recent protests and those involved in the threats, the violence and the destruction were not doing it in their name and had no constructive role to play in creating better living conditions for any community. Last Saturday, along with hundreds of others, I stood united against racism and the far right. That plan showed of strength by those who organised that gathering in Belfast city centre had nothing to do with legitimate protests calling for decent living conditions. That point was clearly demonstrated by the actions of many a few hours later for the rest of the week, when they rampaged across Belfast, attacked migrant workers and damaged their homes and small businesses. Some of those present were shipped in from England. Others were local paramilitaries. Some were elements of the far right in the Republic. Some of them openly displayed swastika tattoos, and some of them gave Nazi salutes. I couldn't help but think what their fathers or their grandfathers might say and what they think about them. Those who have fought against the Nazis and fascism in World War II. Shame on them. Shame on them. So today, our message is clear from this platform. We totally reject all threats, all intimidation and violence against our migrant brothers and sisters. We stand in solidarity with them, and we will continue to do so. Our unions, our community groups and our whole community demand from this gathering an end to that destruction, that violence and intimidation, and we commit ourselves to standing up for an end and supporting everyone affected until this violence stops. To the politicians, we demand action on those issues that you have the power to change. We demand more funding for public services and greater financial commitment to integration and support for all marginalised communities. And we urge everyone to join us in demanding much needed investment and changes to funding arrangements by the Westminster Government to kick-start a comprehensive public housing programme for all our citizens, and also to tackle those rogue landlords. We are many. We will win this struggle if we continue the struggle together, united as one community. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I'm now going to call on our second speaker, Patricia McKeown, regional organiser from Unison. Thanks very much.
Good morning, everybody, and well done. This was called at very, very short notice, and I think it's an indication of the strength of our movement that you've been able to come here this morning while the hundreds of thousands of our workers are in work. We are the largest union in Northern Ireland, and we organise thousands of black and migrant workers. They're working across the health, social care system and in other parts of the public sector. They have not been strangers to hatred and racism over the last 25 years. But that has become heightened in the last weeks. We have members who have been put out of their homes in local housing estates. We have members who have told us they are afraid to go to work. We have members who go to work and are afraid to come home. We have members who are fearful for their children coming home from school. It is unacceptable to us that anyone in this society should make our members fearful. And they're going to have to get past us, the people behind me and the people all around me. Let's be honest, this is a divided city. We have more separation walls today than we had when the Good Friday Agreement was created. But we also have the capability of standing together. Those in this society that try to keep our people divided have found a new target. And that new target is our black and migrant workers. our asylum seekers, our refugees who need our protection as they flee from war, as they flee from famine, as they flee from poverty. Now, I would not accept as an excuse from any politician or anyone else in this society that because our own people are becoming more impoverished because of their neglect, that somehow that's an excuse for racism and hate. There are no excuses. So, with this recalled assembly today, we do not want to hear those excuses. We do not want to hear whataboutery. What we want to hear is what we have been challenging our government to do for more than 25 years. That is, first of all, stay and work. Secondly, work together. Thirdly, share power in the interests of all of the people. And now you have another emergency on your hands in the interests of our black and migrant and ethnic communities, and you've got to take action. Over the last number of years, we have brought into rooms the police, the justice system, the departments. We brought in the housing executive. We brought in the local authorities. We have asked them to sit around the table. We have said to them, what are you doing about hate crime in this community? And I'm sorry, but constantly the buck is passed. So the big job for the people who are assembling today as our government, the big job for them is to stop the buck passing, coordinate the response, make sure that the resources go where the resources are needed, and work with us, the trade union movement, and with our colleagues here in civil society who believe in equality and human rights to protect our people. We expect nothing less. That's enough from me because I want you to hear the voice. Well, no, there's one more thing I want to say. You won't believe this, but over the last number of weeks, as our members have been put out of their homes, we have heard from paramilitaries, if we'd known there were nurses. There is no hierarchy when it comes to hate, when it comes to racism. And let's be absolutely crystal clear. Who's behind organising this? It's the rise of the far right, not only in our little island, but across this planet. It is fascists who are preying on people who do not know better and are going to have to learn better. That this is not the society we want to live in. And I want to hear that honesty from our politicians today as well. Maga Tukona. I've been trying to learn that for the last Susan's going to tell you what it's really like.
Can't hear. Oh yes, yes. We can't hear you. Microphone's not working. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we need to get to know each other. That's going to work. Yes. Sure. Andy. When you're working not too closely, you'll see all the mistakes.
I am Lonnie. There's nothing.
Knackered.
Everybody in this society, irrespective of
Big lad,
what they are. Thank you for what you and all your colleagues do for us. I also want to say we have been marching on these streets for many, many months now against genocide in Palestine. And now we have to march on our streets to protect our own members, to protect black and migrant workers, and to protect their families, and to make sure that refugees and asylum seekers stay safe. The Irish Trade Union movement has proven that it will stand up to oppression anywhere.
What a poser.
And we're standing up here.
Cracker, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Susan. Could you just give a round of applause again one more time for Susan, please? Very welcome.
It's always hard to follow someone like Susan. I'm just thinking we'll all be a bit more Susan. Thank you, Susan. Because I'm so delighted to see a great gathering today. NICFA represents the voice of the voluntary and community sector here in Northern Ireland. There were 1,400 members from small voluntary-led organisations up to larger employers and national charities. And when I sent out the email saying we need to do something, let's gather in Stormont, there wasn't a single person who said no. And what I heard and what my inbox is full of is people saying we are disgusted, we are ashamed, we are absolutely abhorred by what's happening in our streets. So it's with a sad heart that I'm standing here today, but I need to register our shock and our absolute disappointment at what's happening. We stand in solidarity with our workers, and as Susan said, the colour of their skin and their documents. At NICFA we condemn these acts of hatred in the strongest possible terms. Racism, Islamophobia, stand in solidarity with all of our ethnic minority communities, whose cultures, their talents, their perspectives completely enrich enrich Northern Ireland. We've come together as one community to support those affected and reaffirm in the strongest possible terms that Northern Ireland is a place for everyone. And our sector, the community sector, play a crucial role in delivering this mission, and we own that responsibility. Our sector is a vital part of social fabric. Every day working tirelessly to support those in need, to advocate for the voiceless, and to build bridges across different sections of our society. But of course, we've all suffered over the past number of years. As our previous speaker says, it's no excuse. Lack of multi-year funding, lack of planning, lots of our services on the ground being absolutely decimated. It's no excuse. We still do not accept what's happening in our streets. Because our work in this sector is underpinned by the values of dignity, justice and compassion. And these values drive us to create a more inclusive and harmonious Northern Ireland that we all want. These recent acts of violence are not attacks just on individuals. They are attacks in the very fabric of our society. And today we're standing together, coming together as one to embrace the diversity and to say, not in our name. Yeah. The community sector is uniquely placed to lead this change. We are everywhere. We provide essential services from mental health support, housing assistance, early intervention with children, educational programmes, cultural initiatives. Our whole sector fosters inclusion, promotes understanding and champions the rights of individuals, regardless of their background. Give me permission to quote Mandela. No one is born hating another person because of the colour of his skin or his background or his religion. People learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. And that is the role of every single individual here and every citizen in Northern Ireland. We must fight that hate. Our sector, we stand for a future where our children can grow up in a society that celebrates diversity and fosters understanding. And I'm sure you'll join me in saying, seeing the children on our streets recently has been absolutely abhorrent to watch. We are teaching them to hate. The community sector is not just a support system. I think it's the heartbeat of our society. It's where hope is kindled, where lives are transformed, and when our communities are strengthened every day. And our role is pivotal in ensuring that no one is left behind. It is our bread and butter. Every voice must be heard. Every individual must be treated with the dignity that they deserve. So thank you. Thank you for coming together. Thank you for leaving your important roles out in the community and voluntary sector. Thank you for making it really clear, without any exception, that we do not accept the violence, hatred, and we are completely against all forms of racism. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Struck me when Celine was speaking there, actually, we've got some politicians in our midst, and it would be useful if they would take back the strong message that Celine was putting across there. It is about time that the community and voluntary sector, as supporters of the civil and public services, are properly funded and funded for a long-term basis. We have Tommy. Yes, that's okay. Sorry, Tommy, that's it. I'm blind, did I right? Sorry. We're going to have Tommy Sands going to sing a few songs here, but at least one anyway. But just to let you know, there's another event on Saturday at Writers Square 12, which is about celebrating diversity and standing up against this racism and vicious far rightness. So we'd ask everybody, if they can, come along to Writers Square and join in the festivities there and embrace your fellow neighbours, whatever their colour, creed, religion or background is. Okay, thank you very much. Tommy, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy and honoured to be here, and I know I represent many musicians and artists who are here in spirit and physically here as well. This strange looking scroll is a little song that I scribbled on last night after speaking to Celine. Are we of the people who know of leaving home, fleeing wars and famine in foreign lands to roam? Are we of a people feeble and alone, praying to stay in a home away from home? Home away from home, home away from home, home away from home, home away from home. A shoe is on the other foot, walking to our door. A different colour, different creed, have we been here before? A sister and a brother, fearful and alone, praying to stay in a home away from home. Home away from home, home away from home, home away from home, home away from home. There's nurses in the hospital, so caring and so kind, and other workers from abroad, fearing for their lives. How much we need each other, can we ever know? Praying to stay in a home away from home. 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 I can see the music shining out of your eyes. Sing it with me. Home away from home. Home away from home. Home away from home. Home away from home. When we dance, we'll dance together. When we cry, we'll hold each other. In troubled times, we'll stand together. Down by the lagoon side, I thought she was a vision that stopped me with her smile. Down by the river, we walked along in style. She said, "You're welcome back again, won't you stay a while?" Down by the lagoon side. The chorus in this is very simple, and you can handle it with harmonies. I know it. When we dance, we'll dance together. When we dance, we'll dance together. When we cry, we'll hold each other. In troubled times, we'll stand together. Down by the lagoon side, we'll sing it again. When we dance, we'll dance together. When we cry, we'll hold each other. Troubled times, we'll stand together. Down by the lagoon side. I'll do another one. And it's a song, I suppose, in years to come, people might ask us, our children, our grandchildren might ask us, what did we do with all this happening? And I think people together can change things. And this is a song maybe for ones coming after us, dedicated to the people who try hard to make the world a better place to live in, despite everything. I wouldn't hear your music on the pole, your painting sound. I wouldn't read your writing on the bandy from the town. But I couldn't stop you dreaming on a victory you've won. For you sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. In your daughters and your sons. In your daughters and your sons. You sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. I don't know your religion, but one day I heard you pray for a world where everyone can work and children they can play. And though you never got your share of the fruits that you've won, you sowed seeds of equality in your daughters and your sons. Sing it. You sowed seeds of equality.
Shame about the circumstances, unfortunately. But the problem is the joined in on this thing, so that's where it kicked off with trying to everything's about everybody did last night, so you can look at it right now, and everyone's like, this is
So thank you very much for coming along. We'll ask you back in your community and the economy.
Three, four. Small stuff. I've done it for what? But on the same as myself. It's not so different. Still young. That was what I'm trying to tell myself. Yeah, maybe 30. Young pup. Do you want us to see later, Curtin?
Next step to do a bicycle walk instead of walking up. Are you when they're hanging about? I think Pippi's getting a picture taken, is she?
Thank you.
Sorry, I missed this.
You can smell my fault.
Well, we're good to play, right? Yeah, he's a
Boy?
good girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Anyway, she
And you're what? You're okay.
Oh yeah, yes, I know she's not. You'll never get work done one piece, so it gets pedals.
One back.
I didn't give you a call.
Hi, Shane. What kind of the protest in Belfast is done.